to rule over everything, God created man in his own image. Hey fam! So today we are beginning our series part 1. So the part 1 of the series of truth is the beginning. Surely the beginning of the series and the beginning of the universe. We're going to be talking about the beginning of the universe, that how earth and everything came into being. So the Bible says in Genesis 1, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. So it says, like, in the beginning God created the heavens and the earth. And the earth, it was without form, it had no shape, it was void, it was empty, it was dark, there was nothing. And the Spirit of God, it was like जैसे हिंदी में कहते हैं मंडराना. The Spirit of God was hovering over the deep. So that it says, and then God said, let there be light, and there was light. परमेश्वर ने कहा कि रोशनी हो, और रोशनी हुई. The next we are going to be studying about, like, God created the universe in 6 days. So it says, on first day, on day 1, when God said, let there be light, there was light. So God saw it and it was good. The light was good. Now this we are talking about the time unknown, from the eternity till the eternity. No one knows for how long the Spirit of God has been existing. But what we know is God is Alpha and the Omega. That has no beginning, no ending. But we know that when earth came into being, but we never know that when the Spirit of God came into being, because God says, I am from never ending to never ending, everlasting to everlasting. Okay, so on the first day God created the day and the night. So he divided the day in 12 hours, and he said, let there be light. And on the first day God divided day and night. On day 2 God made the division between the heavens and the waters. Waters is referred here to as the land, that the land. And on the second day God made sky. He made the sky, that is called the heavens, and the waters. Now waters is refers to as whole of the land. The whole of earth is referred to here as the waters. So on second day God made the division between the earth and water, as we see today. The heavens that's up the sky, and below that's the earth where we live in. On third day God said, all of the land that is present on the waters, that's what beneath the heavens, the firmament, that's referred to as water. So from those waters God said, let the land be separated from one another. So God made the division between the water and the seas. All of the land, it was placed in one place, and all of the waters, that was the seas, they were in one place. So the place of the land, that's not mentioned in the Bible, but we study in our geography classes that the mass of land that was together in the beginning, it was called the Gondwana land. So this is what the Bible talks about. Okay. And on third day God made all of the plants, all of the fruit bearing, flowering plants, all of the crops that are suitable for eating. Each and every plant that are not bred by human but by artificial breeding, all of it was created by God on the third day. Moving forward to day 4th, God created the sun and moon. God created 2 big lights. He created the sun for the day, and he created the moon for the night, so that both the shares, as we read in the first day, God created the day and night. And to rule over day, God created sun, the bigger light, and to rule over night, God created moon, the dimmer light, to rule over the night. So that's the 4th day. Moving on to day 5th, God created all the water creatures. Every creature in that water, in those oceans, God created on 5th day. And on 5th day God created the birds that fly in the heaven. So all the birds and the marine animals were created by God on the 5th day. On the 6th day God created all the land animals, all the creeping, crawling, cattle, beasts, lions, and all of the land animals we can think of, giraffe, rhinoceros, and all of that God created on 6th day. And the most important thing, On sixth day, God created man in his own image. Now, when all of the things were done, heavens and earths were made, animals were made, plants were made, when all of these were created, God, in his own image, he created the man. That's why the man is the most superior creature in the whole universe, in the whole creation, because human beings are made in the image of God. That's why we are the most superior. And that's what God said. Now let me create a man to rule over everything, to rule over the creatures in the sea, over the sky, on the land, on the plants, to rule over everything. God created man in his own image. So that's how Adam came into being. And when God saw that Adam was alone, he had no comparable being, because all of the other were creatures that were not as superior as Adam. So when God thought that he is alone, let me make a companion for him, Eve came into existence. Now what God did, God made Adam go in a very deep sleep. So when Adam slept, God took out his ribs, and out of those ribs, God formed a human-like figure, a female figure, and God said, "This is your companion. I give Eve to you as your wife." So this is Eve, your wife, that is your companion. And that's how man, we know that last two of our ribs, they are floating ribs. The last pair of ribs, they are floating ribs. Why? It is because when God created Eve, he created out of Adam's ribs. And as we are their descendants, the same body structure has passed on, and so we also have those floating ribs. Now the question is how Adam came into existence. On sixth day, God made rain. So when rain fell on the land that was created on earth, what happened was God took the mud from the ground, the dust from the ground, the clay from the ground that was जिसे हम गीली मिट्टी कहते हैं, बारिश के बाद जो मिट्टी गीली हो जाती है, God took that wet sand and God formed a human like figure. जैसे मिट्टी से घड़े बनते हैं, वैसे ही परमेश्वर ने उस मिट्टी से एक इंसान का रूप बनाया, और परमेश्वर ने उसने अपनी हवा फूकी. गॉड ब्लू इनटू इट. परमेश्वर ने उसके अंदर फूंक मारी, और वो जो क्ले था दैट केम इनटू एग्जिस्टेंस. दैट्स व्हाई वी से ना, मिट्टी से आए हैं, मिट्टी में मिल जाएंगे. सो दैट्स हाउ दिस कन्वर्सेशन हैज़ कम इनटू बीइंग, दैट वी हैव केम फ्रॉम द dust that God created Adam out of, and when we die our body rots and हम उसी मिट्टी में फिर मिल जाते हैं. So that's how it says. So that was the beginning, how God created the heavens. There was nothing like earth. God created everything. God created the oceans, the land. He created the animals, each and every animal, the sun, moon to rule over day and night, the plants for us to eat and to not eat, all of the creatures. And lastly, God created human beings, and God said, "Go, multiply and subdue the earth. Take charge over everything, you all of human beings. Go all of the earth, spread your descendants all over the earth, make a living. Let's start a creation." I really suggest you to read Genesis 1 and 2. Like, I have just given it a brief description. I have surely missed out some details. So that was part 1 of the series called the Series of Truth. Stay tuned for more. Press the bell icon to get the notifications of the update of the series, and I'll see you in the next part.